Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one we have so much to talk about, so much update news, including things like the possibility of Thanos maybe returning, including looking over like epic employee comments about that, news about the Season 10 Battle Pass. Also, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new dig site, as well as maybe a fourth one that could have been found, and a bunch of other fun update stuff as well. So overall guys, going to be a very fun video. If you do enjoy it and you want to help support me, be sure to use my supported creator code TheLlamaSir. I seriously appreciate it so much guys, it helps out a ton. And again, that is TheLlamaSir. Also guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on notifications if you enjoy these update news videos. I try to keep you guys in the know about the update stuff, so if you like this type of video, be sure to subscribe. And on top of that guys, be sure to hit that like button down below if you are hyped for a brand new update. The update coming out next is the 8.30 update, and that leads me straight into the first thing I want to talk about in this video, and that is just the general info about the next update coming out. And by the way guys, if you're watching this video after 8.30 is already out, just skip ahead a couple of minutes, because the stuff after this is still things that aren't in 8.30 but could be coming in the future, if you know what I mean. So stuff like the Thanos mode, and also the stuff with the dig sites, which is sort of like outside of 8.30. But yeah, we are like 99% sure the next update is going to be the 8.30 update, mainly because, well, you may have seen that video that went up about like the respawn bans and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about that in this video because that's been out for like a couple of days now, so I'm sure you guys have already heard a ton about that. But still, if you watch that video, he does say that the next update is going to be the 8.30 update, meaning that it is going to be pretty huge of an update. Or I guess like maybe he doesn't say specifically it's the next update, but he says like the respawn van is coming next week, and then in the tweet about it, it says specifically, we're introducing the reboot van in V8.30. Learn all about it in our latest update, and then it links the video. But yeah, they say specifically version 8.30, which, you know, pretty much confirms that next week's update is going to be a big update. And as we've said all the time, when it goes from like, for example, 8.1 to 8.2 to 8.3, that's usually when it's like a big update. They seem to do these types of update like every other week, and they contain a bunch of stuff in them, bug fixes, update stuff, you know, changes to the map. So we're going to be covering all of that. But speaking of which, when can we expect to see this update? Well, basically we can expect to see it either Tuesday or Wednesday. It's honestly been fairly random. There hasn't been any real consistency in when they release these updates. The recent content update, I believe, was on a Tuesday. However, the bigger update before that, 8.20, I think was on a Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong, but either way, like the previous updates have been releasing on either Tuesday or Wednesday. There's really, again, no consistency to it, so we don't know which it is going to be, but likely going to be one of those two. Now, as for the specific time that we can expect like downtime in this update to start coming out, that has been fairly consistent, and that is probably going to be around 5 a.m. Eastern time, simply judging from when like previous updates like this have gone live for Season 8. So yeah guys, I'm excited to see what is in this update. I love these bigger updates and just exploring like the map changes, and again, we're going to be covering that, so be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on notifications. But after that guys, let's talk about the possibility of Thanos returning to Fortnite. There has been a lot of talk going around about this because obviously, unless you live under a rock, you know that Avengers Endgame is coming out very, very soon. And with that being said, there could be a possibility of something to do with Thanos maybe returning back into Fortnite. So let's go over like the possibilities of this and figure out whether or not it could be likely. But obviously, first of all, leading into this, again talking about Avengers Endgame, that movie is supposedly coming out April 26th, I believe. So, you know, very, very soon. It's coming out, you know, just around the corner. So it would make sense that if Epic Games were to bring back like the Infinity Gauntlet mode, they would do it fairly soon. However, that also leads me into my next point, talking about the previous Infinity Gauntlet mode. And also guys, we have like comments from Epic Games to go over with this to try and theorize on whether or not this mode will come back. But something that I forgot about the previous Infinity Gauntlet mode, I believe it actually came out a little bit after Avengers Infinity War came out. Looking back at when the trailer was uploaded on the Fortnite channel for the Infinity Gauntlet limited time mashup, that was uploaded on May 8th. And if I look up the release date for Avengers Infinity War, it says it was released on April 27th. So the mode actually came out after the movie a bit. So with that being said, maybe we could see it coming up, but even if Endgame comes out and we haven't seen the mode yet, it still could be possible that we could see it after, just judging by how Infinity Gauntlet was originally released. Now, speaking of the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff like that, recently there has been some comments from Epic employees on like the subreddits and stuff like that in regards to like Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet stuff and, you know, things like that. Granted, they're not like about like the mode coming back or things like that, but I still find it odd that there's been quite a few comments relating to these that popped up recently. So, you know, know, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe they are working on it, and that's why it's fresh in the minds of the Epic Games employees. But again, hard to say for sure, but let's go over some of those comments. Like the first of which was in response to a picture of Thanos that was posted about a couple weeks ago. But basically, Epic Dusty Devo responded to this and said that that was a fun mode to work on, great memories. But again, guys, they don't always comment on stuff like this. There's a lot of, you know, nostalgic type posts, but I find it interesting that he specifically decided to comment on the one about Thanos at an interesting time before Avengers Endgame is just about to release. So who knows there. But again, there's been other comments as well, such as like back in that Fortnite Creative AMA that happened a while ago, a little bit over a week ago. One question asked about like the possibility of maybe seeing Thanos in creative, and Dark Veil responded with no Thanos for now, which is an odd response. It's interesting that he said for now. Like, is there a possibility it could be added in the future? Very interesting response right there for sure, especially when you couple it with the next response. But there was another question asking if they could give an explanation about like adding vaulted weapons and stuff into creative, and Zookeeper Zach responded with a bunch of stuff. But the thing that I want to pull out of this is that he says some items have contractual constraints like the Infinity Gauntlet where they can only be available at certain times, which don't work well for creations that can persist forever. Which again, guys, is super interesting because he says that it can only be available at certain times. Now, when I look at that, obviously the safe thing to expect from that or interpret from that is that it was only available for, you know, last year during that specific certain time of the event. But maybe that also means that it could be available coming up for certain times. Now, on top of that, they also say that there are contractual constraints, which definitely makes sense. So who knows? Maybe they're working out something for Avengers Endgame. But just even judging from the fact that they already did something for the Avengers Infinity War, I'd say it's possible that they could be doing something for Endgame. But as of right now, that's the stuff we sort of can theorize about. Again, we don't know for sure if it is or isn't going to come back. But still, I found that info pretty interesting. But after that, guys, let's talk about some super interesting stuff that has to do with like Vbucks and also the Season 10 Battle Pass. That is right, guys. Season 10, not Season 9, which is the next season. Season 10's Battle Pass. So yeah, at least we know that Season 10's Battle Pass is officially confirmed by Fortnite. Whatever you want to say, but it's definitely pretty interesting. Now, this info comes from a recent news article that was just put up today by Fortnite, and it has to do with the World Cup. I guess like basically what it says for the title of the article, Fortnite World Cup Finals Ticket Pre-Registration available now. And then it goes on to say more stuff about like tickets and things like that. I'm debating on whether or not I'm going. Like, I'd love to go, but I've never been to a big event like this, so it kind of makes me nervous, but I think I might think about it. However, there was something else very interesting about this that I want to point out. So they say this specific thing right here, they say all ticketed fans who attend the 3-day event will receive Vbucks and a Season 10 Battle Pass must be present to claim items. So that's all they seem to say about like the Vbucks and the Season 10 Battle Pass. But obviously the thing that sticks out about that is that they specifically say Season 10 Battle Pass. So basically it's confirmation that Season 10 is going to have a Battle Pass, and obviously that means that Season 9 is likely to have one as well. But they're planning that far ahead, and that's crazy to think about. Season 10 is going to be in over 2 months, at least 2 to 3 months maybe. But yeah, on top of that, there's Vbucks. They don't say how many Vbucks, but yeah, Season 10 Battle Pass. That's some interesting info right there. Alright guys, but moving on here, this is where I wanted to go into game a little bit to show you something pretty interesting, and that is the third dig site, which if you haven't checked it out yet, it's actually right behind me. Kind of scary, it's sneaking up on me. No, but the third dig site is down here near Loot Lake, which you guys may have already known. We talked about it quite a bit. However, recently it all got dug up and revealed something crazy, like crazier than the one at Dusty Divot, crazier than the volcano vent that was over near Paradise Palm, sort of at that bridge. We've talked about it a bunch. I'm sure you guys remember. That one had a volcano vent, and then the Dusty Divot one got filled with lava. So what is going to be going on with this third one right here? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that and maybe try to guess like what it could be. So yeah, but as you can see, here's the third dig site near Loot Lake on the east side of Loot Lake. But if you go inside of it, you know, pretty typical. Got the excavators, got the fence around it. Again, the fence seems to be like, that's like similar to the stuff that was at the old bunker in Wailing Woods, which is sadly destroyed. But that whole like investigation group. So then if you take a look inside of the dig site, you've got a few interesting things that I'm not exactly sure what all of them mean. You got a shovel, so somebody was digging with a shovel, nice job. This thing right here, an ice thing, which I mean, I sort of have an idea, but let's take a look at some of the other stuff. You've got another crate, sort of similar to the second dig site. a mailbox right here, which is odd, a skull, and then a chest down here. And also, if you look up, you've got a stone head, or like one of the stone heads, but it's like a lot smaller than any of the ones that were on the map. So I don't know if that's like referencing anything, obviously, where there was a stone head up further near Dusty. But I found that interesting that there's a stone head. However, the most interesting thing, and oh yeah, there is a fish over there, which sort of reminds me of like, you know, Kevin the Cube a little bit. His floating island had, I think, a fish thing on it from like one of the houses. So maybe that's where a couple of these things are from. Well, I don't know for sure. But yeah, the more important thing is this right here. What is this? You go down to it, it seems to be made of metal. Just judging from the looks of it, how it has like, you know, patches maybe rusted off. Also, if you hit it, it makes sort of a metal sound. But yeah, guys, like, what is this? Is it a door? Is this seam supposed to be representing like a door? Is it, you know, a covering for something like an underground base? Which could be possible. Again, if you hit it, it sort of makes a hollow metal sound, like it is, you know, covering something up. So there definitely could be something under here. But as of right now, we really do not know what it is. Could have to do with Rune. Maybe Rune is hiding under here. Again, if you guys haven't seen my Rune theory video explaining like what he likely is, who he's working with, it's this video right here. So be sure to click the link down below in the description or the pinned comment. Also, there will be a link to it at the end of this video if you want to check out that. Talks a lot about Rune and what he could have to do with the story. And you know, this dig site could definitely fit into that. We talked about the dig sites a little bit in that video as well. So yeah, that is definitely pretty crazy. Leave your comments down below of what that could be. And let's take a look at this other dig site that is showing up on the map, or like potential dig site. So basically this one is over near Lonely Lodge, I believe. I think it's actually up on that hill right there. So it's gonna take us a little bit to respawn and get on over there. So let's just go ahead and skip over to that. All right, so as we're flying on over here, let's go up on top of this hill with the drift board. And yeah, as you can see right here, it looks like a dig site. Just looks similar to, you know, especially like the Loot Lake one. That one had a flat square patch of like grass around it. And then, well, obviously it became one of the dig sites. So if you look at like right here, it definitely does resemble that square, flat, you know, surface. There's a little bit of a bump in the center. So, you know, maybe not. But again, this is a very odd spot. And I also feel like I remember this maybe being a little bit more, you know, up and around, if that makes any sense. I know that it's kind of confusing and hard to explain, but wasn't there like a helicopter over here? Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but still, I find it very odd that there seems to be this weird, you know, flatter spot here. So we're gonna have to wait and see. It definitely could change and become even more flatter. But hey, I wanted to bring this up to you in case it is potentially a fourth dig site. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more update news coming out in the near future. On top of that, be sure to check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, that theory video about Rune, and then on the right, whatever my most recent video is. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.